Packer fans by blood, filmmakers since high school, and Yooper brothers for life, Anders and Davin Lindwall are set to embark upon another incredible journey together, their first major motion picture and nationwide theatrical release.
It's an unusual path for a Yooper to end up in Hollywood, coming from kind of middle of nowhere and then ending up in a pretty big space is cool.
It started in Iron River, Michigan, with, as these stories do, a dedicated high school teacher, Lee Rometty. In school, he gave the brothers freedom, aspiring filmmakers access to cameras, gear, and he let them follow their passions.
You know, Anders and I both had an obvious interest and really just poured gasoline on that passion that I had.
From high school, the brothers went on to film school in LA. They made connections, produced commercials, and when one of their clients asked about other projects they were working on, the Lindwalls gave them a 30-second pitch that would change the course of the next 4 years, and hopefully the rest of their lives.
It was an immediate, yes, I want to be a part of that.
The plot of their movie, an independent film, catching the eye of a major corporate sponsor and starring primetime Emmy Award winner, star of Coach, Craig T. Nelson. It follows the story of a farmer facing foreclosure and betting on the Green Bay Packers to save it. It's a plot the brothers know well, inspired by real life. Their grandfather was a dairy farmer, and many of the characters are based on Yoopers. The starring role for which the Lindwall said was a dream to cast Nelson to play.
Because there's honestly there's not that many when you think about grandfather figures. There's not that many left that are really prominent where you can pick them out and be like, man, that guy's a legend, you know? He read the script and wanted to get on the call with us the next day. He said, I'm in, let's go to Wisconsin and do this thing.
That shocked our casting directors. They couldn't believe it. They're like, you guys, we are really surprised by this.
After a while, you get tired because you want to do stuff that really means something. But the most important thing about this movie to me was that it represented a spirit. It represented the language that I grew up with, which was value, tradition, hard work, and faith.
Anders and Davin are running on a tank of gratitude. They said they don't take it for granted that this might be the only movie they get to do, and that could be the reality of it. So with it, they wanted to pay homage to the place they grew up and the people who raised them.
Being from the UP, there's such a specific culture that exists there, and I don't think that's pretty uncommon for the rest of the US. There's a lot of kind of vanilla, Americana culture, but the UP, northern Wisconsin, has this very specific community-oriented folks who love the outdoors and just a sense of neighborliness that I don't think a lot of people do, but I think what we do have is authentic and true.
Anders says there's beauty and richness in the Yooper northern Wisconsin lifestyle, that he so admires the characteristics of people who work hard, take care of their families, and support their friends and immediate community, that they inspired the full-length motion picture coming to a theater near you, Green and Gold.
For anybody who grows up in the UP, you grow up around blue-collar, hardworking people. That voice isn't really represented in cinema. Normal blue-collar folks who have their job, work and grind every day, go home. It's hard to get a spotlight on that, but we've always found, there's a quote by Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He said, I find it's not the fancy people in life who nourish my soul. The folks up in the UP, hardworking folks in our film that are represented by farmers are just salt-of-the-earth people who aren't flashy, but actually have a ton of depth and a ton of richness and a ton of vitality to their world. And we wanted to try to showcase that and celebrate that really through cinema. There's such an amazing, a saintliness about that.
When it goes to theaters, the Lindwalls say they need as much support as possible, that with independent films, the movie has 4 to 5 days to prove itself, and then Hollywood and theaters are on to the next Marvel film. They say it with appreciation to the extended community that helped create the film, as a call to action to everyone in the Upper Peninsula and beyond to support it. Green and Gold, coming to 1,000 theaters across the nation. It premieres on Friday, January 31st. And before we kick it to commercial, here's the extended trailer. From IUP News, I'm Andrew Lawrencer.
For my Grandpa Buck, farming wasn't a job or even a way of life. It was a sacred act.
Easy, easy, easy.
For him, it wasn't the frozen tundra. It was the Garden of Eden.
Does your granddad know where you're headed?
He knows I'll be home later.
I couldn't do farming anymore. I was on my way out for some bigger dreams.
This ain't your land.
Well, when you don't pay your loan, it becomes my land.
What was that about?
Where the hell you been?
Talked to Godey. Apparently she's got some musician staying up at her cabin up on the big lake.
I'm Jenny.
Jenny, local musician. Cody said you might be stopping by.
How much do we owe the bank?
You think I like tearing down the little guy, Buck? You think I like it?
Well, your license plate says a-hole.
I will make a little wager with you. The pack go all the way, I will give you another year, interest-free. And if they lose, you sign everything over to me.
Take it.
Oh, we ain't betting folks, Jenny.
I want to take your tape and share it with my manager.
Your granddaughter's, she's really talented.
Yeah, I know that. You do anything to hurt her, and I will hunt you down, and I'll gut you like a 10-pointer.
Great.
What do you think you're doing? I'm gonna take the bet.
You better pray God owes the pack a favor.
You know that no one cares about her little slice of nothing in the middle of nowhere.
I do.
I want to hear you before you become rich and famous.
No guarantee of that. You go chasing your hopes and your dreams, you forget who you are. And there is nothing worth the cost of losing everything that's wild and free.
In real life, miracles don't always arrive on time.
And the pack beat the Bears.
And the good guy doesn't always win.
You still believe in what we're doing?
More than anything.